Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new live stream here on the channel. I'm yours truly, the Coin Baron, and you might have known that we do, of course, strap in. These are my suspenders here, but unfortunately I haven't had any time yet to strap in, so quickly strapping here. You know, it's from my OnlyFans channel. Welcome guys, welcome. Today it's the 83 episodes for the weekly close. And in this episode, we're going to focus on the 5th weekly close, which is red for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the overall altcoin market. We're going to talk about so many different things. So guys, strap in, like I am not right now. I'm not strapping in. So strapping in as we talk. Other than that, guys, we're going to talk about some tweets, some words by the CEO, Ryan Wyatt. And I think that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, though, feel free to ask. Feel free to strap in. Hit the like button and, you know, let's have a talk about this, because I think today is not really a fun day. Let's start a long time. Almost strapped in. 83 episodes. We've been following the CRO token for at least 1.5 years at this point, almost 2. So it's going pretty quick. Are we live? I think we're live. Let's CRO. Sometimes, I don't know, guys, why, but even on moderator, TransKing, his matches got retracted by YouTube, so I think that's good, right? Doesn't look good? Are we strapped in, guys? Welcome, welcome. I feel strapped in again. Okay. Shall we have a look at the trading view charts here? Let's have a quick peek. Let's have a quick peek. So let's start off with CRO. CRO actually fell down this previous trend. Well, this is really a trend. We're now basically following the previous low here at 7.5 cents. We're currently trading at $7.56 for just one CRO. So we're still in this, I would say this pattern, I would say this is the most important one, where we have consistent lows at about 7.5, and then so far we have been trending down. That's the overall take here. It is pretty, not really. The honest take here is that if you take a look at these charts where we have an asymmetrical triangle, which it isn't yet, it's not yet confirmed, but it's looking more like one, I would say, every day. It typically breaks down, and it's very simple reasoning why. It's because basically the more you tap here on the lower support line, the more times you tap it, the weaker supports become. It's like breaking in with a ram, right? You try to run to a castle, and every time the ram hits the door, the castle will become weaker and weaker and weaker. And I think that the outcome isn't necessarily that bearish. I would say the worst we can have is basically a retest of the previous low. That would be our outcome of this breakout of this structure. So that would mean one final revisit of 6.6 cents. That's not, of course, not confirmed yet. You can't trade this. It is just what's happening now on the screen. Overall, though, we're still, you know, hopping forward. Looks like CRO is going back to 5 cents. So I wouldn't say something like that. Yeah, that's definitely not what you see here. I would say typically where we are now, you have to zoom out. But where we are now in the, it is strong support. It is definitely strong support. But let me remove a few of these squibbly lines here. Welcome though, Wasil. I see TransKing. I see Björn. Oh, you can actually delete your own messages? Wow, I didn't know that. Learning something every day. Guys, what did you learn this week? I learned a lot about the Winter Olympics. I learned a lot about ice skating. I learned a lot about the US history regarding ice hockey as well. And GG, guys. GG to the USA. You won against Canada, and Canada are definitely hard opponents to beat. But if anything, we talked about basically just below the 7 cent. 7 cent has been all long time frame support. So I do believe that, you know, 7 cents is definitely a place that you should watch with high conviction. Maybe we'll have a close that low, but you see though, typically for the history of CRO, we don't close the week at 7 cents. We touch it and we go up again. We touch it, we go up again. I didn't watch the Olympics at all. I don't care. I think it's quite fun to learn a few new things about sports. I love sports, but I understand if you don't like it. it's quite niche regarding the sports. Pretty niche. Anyways, 7 cents, that's the first line of defense. After that, well, then we need to check 5 cents. 5 cents is then the line of defense. It has been also an important line since basically forever. I would hope, though, not only hope, I believe that typically, cycle on cycle, the overall strength of CRO is becoming better and better, right? So I do not believe we should have a low again at 5 cents. I would say 7 cents is a beautiful low. In the end, it also kind of depends on what Ethereum does, what Bitcoin does. Ethereum is, though, it's also at one of those important levels again. You can see that where we are now, it has been support here, or resistance. It has been support here, 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 and also here. So where we are now for Ethereum specifically, it's such an important range because, of course, it's not about exact numbers, but it's always about ranges. Volume profiles. I would say volume profiles are definitely things you guys might want to learn about. Volume profiles, I'm not going to toggle them on right now, but basically volume profiles are specific prices where a lot of trading is happening. So people tend to buy or sell a lot of Ethereum at around the $2,000 range. Same thing also for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has beautiful support lines at where we are right here, right now. You can see, right? I mean, here, we got here, here, here. There is so much volume at about the $50,000 to $70,000 range. Can you see the wind that blows through my hair? That's the wind of the pump incoming soon that you might be expecting. I love it. I love it, truly. I also, you know, overall, I do believe in general that where we are now, it's close to the bottom. It has to be. And why does it have to be close to the bottom? Well, very simply because we are close to the previous all-time high. In the history of Bitcoin, in the history of crypto, basically, we never really went below the previous all-time high. So we create new support structures at about the all-time high. So what we did here, it's very much like what we did earlier. We have here the previous all-time high, and you can see that the low here of the 2021 bear market, that was basically at the previous all-time high. A few $1,000s below it. A few $1,000s. So the all-time high was 19K in 2017. I still remember very vividly. But then we just dropped to below, I believe, 16 or 50. I think 15,800. So $4,000 below the previous high. Now we're basically at about the same kind of level here. So we are at the previous all-time high. Very important structures regarding, you know, support and resistance. And the crazy thing, do you know again what brought us down? What brought us down below this massive range here, this previous all-time high? This was, it was honestly crazy. This was the FTX crash. Like thousands and thousands of people lost money, lost trust in the system due to FTX. What happened now? What happened? I don't even know. I think nobody knows. The only bad event that happened was, I would say, 10/10. The 10th of October. And that was right after we hit an all-time high. So you can see right here we had the all-time high on the 6th of October. And then on the 10th we dipped shortly about 20%. But okay, we'll see, guys. Welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm still a bit ill. So I haven't really done any videos. I'm planning though to do more videos next week. I have an idea for Monday. I have also an idea for Tuesday. So I'm back to making videos. Hopefully next week I will be a bit more, you know, the voice. You know, the voice of Cronos. So what's happening other than that? I see Pete is talking about the weekly MACD is trending upwards. Okay. Let me check that one. I like to see that. Is that for Bitcoin, by the way? Let me check. Actually, that would be quite exciting. So here, I would say the weekly chart, by the way. I would say the structure is a lot better. It's very visible here. Very visible how we need to do it a bit better. It's more like this here. You can see that also here in the bear market, we didn't really go below the previous all-time high all that long. It was a few weeks. To be exact, we closed below it 9 weeks. So maybe we do have another 9 weeks like this. Maybe it is 9 more weeks like this. Do you guys mind if we, till April, have, you know, a lot of nothingness? Maybe even a bit of a lower low. Could happen, right? But in the history, we don't really go below the previous all-time high all too long. Hey, what's up, Cliff? Thank you so much, sir. Ow, 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 ow. That was a strap on the nipple. Ouch. No, I'm not made for OnlyFans. It's not my my kind of service I provide here. Okay. By the way, I don't want any comment about my hair today. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I needed to keep it long and washed for the... So I'm getting like a wedding test haircut tomorrow. So be nice to me, please. What are we talking about? Yeah, so the charts, guys, I mean, not much is happening. We do have the MACD, according here to Pete. Let me check. And according to Pete, the weekly MACD, it is trending upwards again. Is it? You might be talking about CRO then. Let me check. Maybe the weekly for CRO is a bit better. Let me check here. But this is the weekly. Here we got the CRO token. Then we have the MACD. I mean, this one is pretty clear overall. What I don't like about the MACD or the RSI levels here, we're very close on having a cross. This will be a bullish cross for CRO on the weekly RSI. But right, the minute we want to get across, just before the start of the new year, we had another dump, and you can see that the short term and the long term, it's still moving in tandem down. But the lower this goes, the closer we are getting to a bottom. Regarding the MACD, I would say the MACD is pretty clear. It's still, it's very slow. And also typically we do see a bit more of an even distribution. But now this time around, we don't have a clear, you know, typical structure like this. We have a bit of a longer tail. We have seen that more. Here also a longer tail to the end. And also here a longer tail. And also here a longer tail to the end. The question though is, like, we have seen this in the past. So this happened right at the beginning of the bear market. But I think we're pretty good overall. Pump is only a matter of interpretation. I would say it's pretty clear. If we have a 10% plus move, I'm calling it a pump. So what made me what made me sad a bit today was actually the CRO Bitcoin price, because CRO Bitcoin has been doing pretty well. But today, in the last few days, it's been heading down a little bit, just a little bit. Still though, it is at quite high levels, so as long as it's not continuing this trend, and I think there's no reason to believe it will continue the trend, but maybe. The trend is always your friend. You can see we have unfortunately broken below this, but there's not really a big trend. So let's see where we'll end up. Maybe we can find some support here, because you can see on the daily chart we have been curling up. So maybe we do see another curl up here, because you can't just head up and up and up and up. We are using a bit of staircases sometimes. So we go up, we go down a little bit, we go up, we go down a little bit. This would be the best case scenario for CRO. Crow Bitcoin. And some people are also pointing that overall, like altcoins are extremely bullish. Are looking extremely bullish. For example, here, Others versus Bitcoin. Every freaking time we hit this line, something great happens for altcoins. Here, went up. Here, we went up. Are we now also going up? That's the big question, right? Overall, like Crow Bitcoin, I would say Crow Bitcoin on the week is still up, by the way. So, no, it's actually a bit down. Never mind. A little bit down. Ah, okay, the weekly MACD for Crow. Yeah, the weekly MACD for Crow doesn't look all too bearish. Still in the wide range here. But we do need to see a flip like this. I used to be a Bitcoin maxi, and I still am, but I also really love Crow because they are an amazing company with the highest staking APR and liquidity in the Cosmos ecosystem. I didn't know, Shang, that you're actually really into Atom and the whole Cosmos ecosystem. I didn't know that. Cosmos, guys, for anyone that doesn't know, Cosmos was one of the biggest protocols in 2023 era regarding multi-chain. So Cosmos is a protocol, and basically any chain, they can make use of the Cosmos protocol to, they call it an interchain, not interchain, something like that. So basically you can be more like, hey, if you do something on this chain, you can also do something on that chain, yada, 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 easy bridging, whatever. So that's actually quite cool that Cronos is part of that ecosystem. Unfortunately, the ecosystem itself didn't really continue growing. So I'm curious where it is heading. What's your favorite beer? I love Leffe Brun. My favorite one is the La Trappe Isidore. La Trappe Isidore. I think it's Dutch. I can, yeah, if you find La Trappe, you can find it, I guess. LATRAPPE. I'm wondering when Trump will buy more Crow. It has to be soon. It truly has to be soon, guys. My belief. Don't get used, by the way, to all these streams. We did three streams this week. Don't get too used to it. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, sir. When Trump makes the big purchase, we will see Crow skyrocket. I'm honestly super bullish, guys, about the April Triumph fame. So I don't know if you guys know this, but recently the new leadership of Cronos is so much more talkative. They talk a lot. They are in different communities. You can see them on Telegram. You can see them on Twitter. You can see them on Reddit. And recently also, and I'm not going to share much, but they are working hard on the rebrand. And my personal opinion, it's starting to look good. And if I'm bullish, rebrand in the end, guys, a rebrand for the Cronos ecosystem, the Cronos app. It's all fine and dandy. In the end, it's just a rebrand. So I'm not really that bullish on rebrands. I would say the Monaco to Crypto.com rebrand was pretty successful because Monaco, Crypto.com, Crypto.com is a lot more mainstream than Monaco. Monaco, they also had quite a nice ring to it. I like the Monaco vibe. What's your favorite pizza? Pizza? Ooh, that's a good one. Depends. How many beers did I drink? How many Leffes? If many, the answer is doner kebab or doner pizza. If not, I'm typically going for... I'm not really a spicy guy myself. I would say I'm really boring, but pepperoni or salami, really good stuff. Let me know, what do you guys like? I'm in a very fluctuating mood right now. Basically, I think a lot is going to happen, but I can understand, for example, why 21 million on X is being critical. To be honest, Björn, I believe that 21 million is just is making jokes, and he's a bit salty as well. Don't take it too serious. Hey, Sky Blue, good to see you. Hey, all. So let me talk a bit about this as well. So during the recent interview, they talked a lot about transparency. They talked a lot about tokenomics, and I would say this tweet is very important. We will release a tokenomics proposal plus a tokenomics page, which will create more transparency also regarding the 70 billion burn. There are some strategic burns that will continue via the community burn percent allocation and also the buy burn. So there are some things in there that Cro-Magnon is speaking about more soon. So overall, guys, they are working now on the actual tokenomics proposal. There are a lot of comments in the community about this already. I saw that people are talking about left and right. This whole emergency thing as well. Cro-Magnon was talking about the burn mechanism and tokenomics, whatever. I'm waiting on a proposal, and after that we can talk more about what we hope to see for the Crow token. I think though the first thing should be that Mr. Ryan here, they're going to create a killer app, right? We need to have the killer app. We need to have some kind of reason to be bullish again about the Cronos chain, because that's the biggest thing, guys. Like, Crypto.com will always be there, right? Crypto.com will always be there, but I do believe they want also Cronos to be able to fend for itself, and the best way to fend for itself would be with a thriving chain ecosystem, and also, if possible, with the Cronos app that is thriving as well. So we'll have two apps, and this might be a bit confusing, might be vague. There will be the Crypto.com app, they call the main app, and there will be the Cronos app. And most likely we'll be able to do the same things on both apps. But there's one big difference, and that big difference is really decentralization for the latter. For example, if I now want to use any prediction market on Crypto.com, I cannot do that. I cannot do that because the Crypto.com app is working as a bank, and it needs to listen to all the legal requirements. Whereas if we talk about decentralized prediction markets, there should be no party really to blame. So decentralization typically allows you to do more stuff because there is no central entity that wants to, is able to control all the things. So Cronos, a lot more opportunity, decentralized, potentially a bit more expensive, but also the more expensive way of being, being decentralized is always more expensive than being centralized. I mean, take a look at the Bitcoin blockchain. It does many things you can also do on a server, but this one is public and you pay a lot to actually be included on this Bitcoin ledger. But Chang likes the salami as well, and Diavola. That's the spicy one, isn't it? Okay, so Chang became pescatarian. That means fish, right? Only fish. Margarita. I mean, margarita's always good. The original pizza. The original. Anyways, just guys, wait till we get any more clarity regarding this whole proposal. It will come. It will come. When exactly? I don't know. It will come. More soon. Some great toppings. You guys getting me hungry? I have already had some dinner. I ate some burgers today. Bit of smoked burgers. Really good stuff. Any plans coming to Bitcoin Prague this summer? Well, the honest answer there, Shang, is that I'm getting married and I have planned, a big trip with the missus. So I don't think I will do any more traveling other than that. I mean, if I go to Prague, I can't make videos, and I'm already gone then for like 2 weeks or something like that for the wedding, for the honeymoon. So I can't be gone that long. Let's see, Crow US dollar. It's still doing okay. Still doing pretty good. But today was not the best day. The fun thing though is, again, like I mentioned before, CRO is outperforming Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is, I don't know, if I go to the weekly chart again, this is honestly crazy. Please guys, join me in the counting now, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different red candles in a row. You can see that the candles are becoming smaller and smaller. So here we got really big candles, big candle, big candle, big candle, smaller candle, smaller candle. And we are creating a bit of a higher high structure as well, even though the candle bodies themselves are lower and lower. But the overall structure, I mean, we can see we are, I would say at least, in a bit of a bottoming structure here. That could also be said here though. And we did create a bit of a bull flag where we, or bear flag where we did go lower in the end, but that's not to be said here yet though. Let's see. I think typically though, we haven't really seen a lot of these 5 weekly red candles. So here we had 1, 2, 3, 4. And after that, we did go up. Other than that, I think we don't see 5 often. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we had a green candle. Before that, I think I didn't see any example of a 5 red weeks in a row since 2022. Here. The last time we had that was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 red candles in a row. So if we are going to continue with something like that, well, that will be pretty bad. But I don't think it is like this anymore, guys. That's my my personal take. Also, let's have a quick peek again at the stock market, because I still kind of believe that we have to follow the overall stock market. And the stock market was green this week. There is still growth possible. Even though you can see we're stalling out a little bit at about 7,000 points for the S&P. Same also for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, it's also still very close in all-time high. Gold is also, it closed the highest weekly close ever. 5,100. So gold has still power. What about silver? What about silver? Silver also had quite a decent week. Then we have oil. Finally, oil also had a good week, but I would say that's more to do with the political tensions. Let's not get me started about the potential war with Iran. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've heard though that right now they assembled the largest fleet near the Iran borders, basically since the invasion of Iraq. So, well, guys, please keep it peaceful. And if you live near the Iran, neighborhood, near the border or in Iran yourself, be safe. Be safe, please. What would you say if I told you Emma Watson was watching your stream? Emma Watson? Well, I don't know. I haven't really watched Harry Potter in a long time, so I don't even know what kind of movie she did afterwards. Got some leftover homemade beef and potato curry and rice. But I'm not hungry enough currently. Oh, you're also ill. Jeez. Get well soon, sir. Get well. Actually, we might see CRO at about 6.8 or 6.9 to fill the weekly candle, and then we pump from the low. I think something like that is very much possible. We talked about this potential. A bit like here. It is possible. I don't know if it will happen. It is the exact outcome though of this structure here, this asymmetrical triangle. Well, we have one fake out, so will we get another one? I don't know. That would be that would be one of the reasons why we might revisit this previous low here. But I would say it all depends mainly now on what Bitcoin does in the upcoming weeks. I mean, the thing is, right, is that we are still heavily overbought or oversold on, for example, the relative strength index. I haven't seen also, we talked about fear and greed on Thursday. The fear and greed levels haven't been this long oversold. It's honestly crazy. And I want to show you quickly something, and I think this one is funny. Something is at an all-time high. Let me know what you guys think is at an all-time high. I'm going to show you Google Trends. I'm going to show you guys Google Trends, and if you look for Bitcoin is dead, it's and I need to go to worldwide. The amount of searches for Bitcoin is dead has never been this high. This is the last 5 years. Let's go since 2004. You know, in every bear market, we have mentions of Bitcoin is dead, right? And also, this is actually quite funny. So here, Bitcoin is dead was searched about, you know, 54%. Here again, about 52. Now, we doubled that. The amount of searches for Bitcoin is dead has doubled. But it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is really going to die, guys. It is just more of the overall vibes, right? I find the statistic quite funny. How is CRO going to $1? I believe with the plans of the new leadership, with Ryan talking about the Cronos app, the rebrand, the MCGA company, the ETFs, still the Visa cards that we show here. We've got the Visa cards there. With all of that, there is definitely a pathway towards $1. Welcome, One Fast. What's up? Emma Watson is not really making any moves anymore, just watching crypto. Have you ever heard of any case of someone like their app account getting closed without liability or ability for them to access their fiat or crypto? No. Like, I've heard that they closed some accounts before, but never like without the ability to withdraw. Sometimes, though, they are legally obliged to keep it for a certain amount of weeks or months. I believe there might be like a 1 month withdrawal held. Like maybe for 1 month you can't be able to withdraw due to the legislation. But as long as you are following rules, there is no reason why randomly crypto.com should be locking your account. You should be able, though, to, for example, show where you got your money from. For example, if you have, I've seen people say, well, I made some money, for example, or I got some money due to a heritage or something like that. Is it heritage? No, a mortgage. Anyways, if somebody dies and maybe has a lot of money, they give to you. If you are out of nowhere getting $100,000 on your account, crypto.com might start asking questions like, hey, where did you get this money from? Illegal or legal? I don't know. Like here they would ask for, could you please provide some proof how you get the money? And I hate it. It's truly why I think the whole Cronos app ID is perfect, right? I think it's perfect because it doesn't ask those questions. It doesn't think about, oh, this and that, you know. It's all decentralized. So that's something I'm really looking forward to not, you know, get all these questions by authorities. And I'm fine, by the way, with paying taxes. That's not the issue. Skyblue, it's only a matter of time, right? I mean, Cronos Crypto are a strong, solid company with lots of partnerships. And, you know, partnerships. We're talking about partnerships with basically the president of the United States of America, the #1 country in the world. You know, you can say a lot, but if anyone you shouldn't mess with, right, it should be the USA and China. Don't mess with China either. Or basically any big country with nuclear weapons. I do think that CRO is going to repeat the BNB prize action in 2027. Then the Diamond Hands will get retired. I do hope it will get rewarded, but I think if anything, it could be even this year already. I am still of the opinion that we could go to a new all-time high this year. And also, Bitcoin dominance, you know, I hate to say it, but I'm one of those people that does believe that we will get an altcoin season still. And yes, it didn't go that quick as the previous time, but you can see it already here. So here it was a really quick altcoin season. Here the altcoin season took a bit longer. So what if this one, and I already like drew this whole purple area. What if this one will not be 1 year? What if this altcoin season might be even, well, this was, by the way, about half a year. This altcoin season took about 20 weeks, 20 bars. What if this one is like double the time? I think 35 bars here. I think it's very much like possible that we will get an all-time high for Bitcoin later this year. We talked about for Bitcoin specifically how it is showing signs of oversoldness here. On the weekly, guys, it's not been this low often in the history of Bitcoin. As long as I, can go back in time here, there are some older charts. But in 2018, RSI bottomed at about 28. Then we had a bottom at about 26 in the August 2022 bear market, and then where we are now, it's also at 28, 27. So guys, we're so low on the RSI in the weekly. It is massively oversold. Could we go a bit lower? We definitely can, but we don't have to. Inheritance, that's the one. Not heritage, inheritance. There's actually a website which captures the trends for the number of news articles, which claims Bitcoin is that. I think it's called Bitcoin Obituaries or something like that. Some people have too much free time. I love it though, it's cool stuff. It is showing really though what the trend is. Are people looking into crypto or they're not looking into crypto? And the honest truth is, if I take a look also at I don't know how many people are watching, right? I think let's say about 40 people are watching. Do we have 40 likes already? But I think at this moment about 40 people are watching. Whereas during the peak really of Pro, we had 100, 200, 300 people watching, 400 maybe even, depending on when you tuned in. The people are watching now, they are the diamond hands. They are watching, they are researching about crypto like always. They are always laser focused on one goal as becoming financially free with crypto. And that's, I think, still possible, because typically, like in the history of Bitcoin, let's go back to Bitcoin, right? And I think also for Crono, but the same principle applies. If you buy Bitcoin below the 200 week, not the 200 week, below the 100 week. Wait a minute, this is the one. Here we have the 200 week, by the way. That one is climbing tomorrow again, because we are on average a bit higher. But if you buy below the 100 week, it's not too bad overall. Let me check there where the 200 day is. It's a bit lower. Interesting. Oh, well, I should say it like this. If you buy below the previous all-time high, you are buying at quite a decent discount. So I would say that these are prime opportunities. Like also this here, this was a prime opportunity. And yeah, could we go a bit lower? We could go a bit lower, but what if we don't? What if you are believing we go lower and we just don't, and we go higher again? Like, I know so many people. I know so many people that were waiting on $12,000 Bitcoin. And in the end, it does matter, right? Because let's say you got $50,000, you want to buy Bitcoin out, right? If you buy Bitcoin at 12,000 here, you could buy about 4 Bitcoin. Whereas if you buy Bitcoin here at about 16, you can only buy about 3 Bitcoin. So this makes a big difference. You can buy a lot more Bitcoin over here than if you bought Bitcoin over here. So I get why people want to wait. But the issue is, what if we don't go down? What if this is it, right? Like before, we go up again. Some people, what they do, they see it go up. it went back to about 20k. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, over here, hey, I think this might be one of the final days you can buy Bitcoin below 20k. I didn't buy Bitcoin here, by the way. I think nobody really did. But when I saw the trend shift, right? Again, I saw the trend shift. We went above these previous highs. I was like, yeah, this could be it. This could be it. So I said to some friends to me, like, hey, when we went below 20k, this might be the final time you can buy Bitcoin below 20k. And so far, it has been the final time. So the issue, though, is that some people, they do expect that, you know, we went up again. Some people expect it, but wait, this is just a fake bounce here. No, it should be going back lower the next time. And maybe we go lower. Maybe we do, but not always. Not always. So I don't give any financial advice, but I'm still pretty proud of giving my friend that advice of buying Bitcoin above, you know, just below 20. Did he buy any Bitcoin below 20? No, of course not, because no, he thought Bitcoin was dead. No, he thought, no, Bitcoin, you know, that's done and dusted, doesn't come back. 1 year later, he should have bought here, because I mean, 2 years later, he would have made like a 7x on his Bitcoin. And you know the thing is, guys. So did I tell him about Cronos? I didn't tell him about Cronos at the time, because I think anyone new to crypto should start looking with Bitcoin first, and then Cronos and altcoins second. Bitcoin should be the start in the world of crypto, and then altcoins. Eventually, though, he did discover Cronos, and how he was pretty thankful eventually that CRO also went to about 40 cents. Did he sell, though? No, he didn't. Neither did I. I didn't sell here. Hey, welcome, Sci-Fi. I always make sure I put a like to your videos. Appreciate that, sir. Ow, ow, ow. I appreciate it. I'm more wondering when a certain country gets sanctioned and they have to close one's account. I think, no, I haven't seen it like that ever before. I have had this with, for example, KuCoin myself. So KuCoin, they got locked out of the Netherlands. Same with Binance, by the way. And there was like a grace period of I believe, a month or 2 months. So they're like, hey, I'm sorry, we're going to close down in this country due to regulation. You have until this and this date to... And it will send you emails, it will send you reminders, it will send you pop-ups. If you log into the app, it will get like this little big screen popping up as well. Overall, it's not like they lock up anything like that. And if you have CRO locked, I believe they are going to auto-unlock it for you as well. Regarding the CDC app and Crypto.com exchange, there's also inheritance options. If I pass away, will my wife be able to access my CRO stake? I believe, I need to check this myself double, but I believe, especially if you have the private one, there's like white glove service. They will be, additionally helping you and your family with getting the money back. But I think in general, you have, the right to get the money. If you have like the death certificate and stuff, I think they any app should be able to give you the money. 50% in CRO, 49% in Bitcoin, and 1% in fiat. Oh man, I wish I had fiat. If I had 1% fiat now, I would be putting it down. Like right here, right now. Same thing applies here as well. So of course, guys, we could go lower and you could buy more CRO. Let's say CRO does this, right? Let's say CRO does this. You could buy a lot more CRO, but what if it doesn't? That's like the pickle for me. Back in 2023, I remember a guy saying he would wait for Bitcoin to go below 20k again to buy it. It never went below 20k again. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You always hope, oh, it will go back again, right? It will go back again. Same also for the opposite. It will go up again, right? It will go up again. Well, sometimes it's the overall trend is down. You can see the overall trend. It's it's painful, but it's true. But it's actually quite funny. I haven't really seen this. Like, there are many touch points on this line. We need to break this though at some point. At some point, I would like to see this break, this structure. So we can actually go above. And we talked about this. We talked about this, I would say, in some different videos. But the April period could be quite bullish. Also because in April, we'll see the launch of the Cronos app. But also because of the time. Here you see December peak. Bottom about 29 weeks later. Peak in September. Bottom about 29 weeks later. That will be the end of March. Maybe, guys, maybe. I'm always talking about maybes, perhaps, possibilities. I think there is a decent chance we will be heading into the green pastures soon again. If history is any indication. Maybe we can just, maybe we just been given an update to the logarithmic scale of the rainbow chart, just like everyone has done it for Bitcoin. Maybe, but that would be quite a crazy one, chimp. Because we didn't even hit like the, we didn't even hit the blue band here. So if anything, that was my base case as well for my prediction video. I do believe that this will be the peak here. But maybe you're right. I still think, by the way, this will be the peak. I still believe we will have one final move. Hey, Coinbaron, wondering if you have hit any of those bear market indicators. I would say so. I would say so with Flying Bee. We talked about this just a minute ago for Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin on the weekly, we have hit at least the overbought level or the oversold level. We're now officially oversold. So that's one of the bear market bottom indicators. What about the new tax? Any opinion? People make a big deal about it, Nikos, but it's not that big. If you have any significant money, you set up like a corporate structure and it's all fine. And also, it's gonna be this is a weird law. So let me explain why it's needed. So there is like a judge. They talked about the current system and they said, well, it's not fair, and it's not fair because basically what they say is we expect you to make this amount of profit with your savings. So let's say you have $50,000 of savings. Well, we do expect, no, that's not entirely true. Let's say you have $100,000 worth of savings. We expect that at least on the $50,000, you'll make about a 6% return. And typically on a stock market, you make about a 6% return. So, especially if you take a look at the S&P, by the way. Yeah. Oh. Been a great year for the S&P. Let me go to a yearly candle. So if you put your money, it went up about 18%. Well, the Dutch government expected, well, if you have money, excess money, savings, if you have $50,000, we expect you to make at least 6%. So we're gonna have a tax of 6%. No, we're gonna tax the imaginary 6% with about, I would say, I think about 20%. I don't know the exact numbers anymore. In the end, though, it basically meant a flat wealth tax of about 1.2%. And any investor, like in the overall, because of course the thing is you have down markets, you have good markets. On average, the stock market goes up about 10%. On average, and Bitcoin goes up even quicker than that. Well, at least typically. So nobody was really, talking about this. The issue though is that on the stock market you're fine. On obligations you're typically fine, but people putting their money at a savings account, they didn't get the 6%. They got about 2%. So they got more taxed than they actually had in return with savings, or the interest on the savings. So they went to the judge like, hey, this isn't fair, yada yada yada, and they got in the end the judge ruled with them, yeah, we have to change the system, and so they did. The only issue is like the systems of the tax administration, they are not ready yet to work with realized gains. So now what they will do, they will use the original systems with the fictive unrealized gains, which were pretty good, but now they will change it a little bit so it becomes closer to the actual unrealized gains, and that will be the first step into changing it to a new tax system. So one thing, guys, I hate talking about taxes. Really, it's different in every country. I would say always talk to an advisor that knows his stuff. In every country, they have also specific crypto laws. This law isn't specific to crypto. This is just wealth in general. On CRO, I think I should sell it when it goes to like 50 or 80 cents. Then I feel like, what am I going to do with the fiat? I could also just keep staking and live off the staking rewards. You can do that, you know. If you have a long-term belief in the system, in the chain, in the ecosystem, you can definitely do that. I like to keep getting the credit card rewards as well. Peter, welcome. Goedenavond. Oh, do you have any bear market indicators on the other website? So that one on Glassnode, that one is actually a bull market indicator, but I can check for you. Let me check. So, bull market peak indicators. I think you mean this one. This is also one of the reasons, guys, why I think we haven't hit a top yet for this this cycle. Why I think a 5-year market or a 5-year cycle or 6-year cycle is definitely possible. Maybe more bit of a business cycle. So we haven't hit a single indicator. Not a single one, which is crazy. Are there maybe different ones? Maybe there's like a bear market bottom one. I need to check. I have no clue. Maybe there is one. I will check with your flying bee later. Hey Luca, what's up? Hello to the Italian community. What about the Cronos app coming soon? What will it solve that people will want to buy more CRO? Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be like... It's going to be aimed more as a financial app, if I get it right. So, focused on Gen Z. So, the idea is they will use the app without even knowing they're using Cronos. And also, on this app, they will have the option to buy CRO, of course. Like a bit on the Binance website, where they are putting BNB, like, pretty much straightforward in your eye. It's hard to ignore. But also, it should be like, hey, you're using this financial app. You are using Cronos, but you're not even noticing. And that should be, I would say, the overall best goal as well. It's like back then, you know, back in the 80s, only like true nerds knew how to use the internet. Yeah, like the ICP, the IP protocol, whatever. People shouldn't really care about the blockchain. They should be using it, but not seeing it like very actively. When is the next AMA with Chris Mars? Like, I hope on the 26th of March. Last I checked, we hadn't, which was a bizarre, I thought. I was still talking about the rainbow chart. I also love Atom. Forgot to mention, good tag, good liquidity. Second after CRO POS, and it has the best APR as well. 16%, that's nice. What's the inflation like though for Atom? What's the inflation like? Hey guys, CRO, it is not really moving. How is the weekly close going to look? The weekly close is going to look, well, not all too good. It has been quite a bad week for CRO altogether. But it's Can I see? It's also like where Bitcoin is still creating higher highs. So yeah, it's gonna be the worst weekly close ever. No, not ever. It's gonna be lower than what we had since, well, this here. This will be the lowest weekly close since October 24. Wow. Been a long time. Yeah, I will let you know next stream. Italian community loves you. You are bullish. Even in the bear market, we're always positive. You know, I think I am realistic, but I have my reasons to believe that we are going higher. And one of those is just simply that we have so many freaking indicators that are pointing towards at least a local bottom. But also, where is it? Also here, we got, you know, 30 different indicators that have not showed any sign of a peak. Pure multiple, no. Bitcoin rainbow chart, no. ETF net inflows, nope. Altcoin season index, nope. RSI, nope. Bitcoin bubble index, reserve risk, hodl ratio, oscillators, no. MVRV, no. Nothing is screaming bull market peak so far. Golden ratio as well. I love this one. I love the golden ratio multiplier. Luckily, by the way, in CoinGlass, you can also see it. When I were closer, actually, to like the bear market lows here, we were below the 350-day moving average, which is pretty crazy. The 250 days is basically a yearly average, by the way. A bit less. Why isn't CRO traded on any other tier exchange such as Binance? It is. You can buy, Shang, you can buy it on Coinbase. You can buy it on, I would say BitGet. You can buy it on, I don't know what other tier 1 exchange you're talking about specifically. Interesting, by the way. It's not altcoin season, but it's still moving along. If you check here, you can go to CoinMarketCap, and you can see that if you want to buy CRO, we got it available on Coinbase, Uniswap. Well, OKX. I would say OKX is a big exchange. BitGet, Gate.io, KuCoin, Maxi. The funny thing is, like, the Crypto.com exchange is only number 9. For the Hopium, what's the average size of those monster weekly got candles we have seen after super lows? That's a good question, actually. That's a fun one. Okay, so let me see. So overall, when we have a low, let me go here. Let me start here. This was about 300%. And let me not include this one, but this was 300%, 260%. 200%, and this was 400%. So on average, about 300%. If we include this one, though, this is about 1,000%. So if you talk averages, I think the mega pumps they are at about 500%, but I would say the most modest one would be about 200 to 300%. Oh, atom inflation is about 10%. Okay. Some Italian spaces also with Iron from the Gold Knights. I have no clue who he is, but I'm happy to hear we're doing spaces again. I'm wondering why CRO isn't on Binance. We actually had a conversation about that. It was really fun. We had the AMA with Zane and also with Ryan, and they were mentioning, well, it should be available everywhere. It should be available directly also on MetaMask. It should be available here. It should be available there. It's definitely on their mind. So let's see. I really hope we'll get it on Binance. Of course, I don't really like Binance myself. Not available. It's actually illegal to use Binance here in the Netherlands. But, overall, the more markets, the better. The more markets, the better. Guys, if you talk about the weekly close again, CRO's at about 7.5 cents. Probably will close the week here at very strong support and resistance levels. Same also for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to close at, again, an oversold RSI level below the previous all-time high and 5 consecutive red weekly candles. This doesn't happen often. Last time it was four consecutive weekly candles. I think we are getting some relief soon. Will it be more like this here? So will we get about a 20% pump? Or will we continue falling down? I think it is very likely we'll see some continuation to the upside again. Let's talk again when we know more. Guys, on Thursday, 9 p.m. Amsterdam time, new space or new live stream here directly on the channel. So don't forget to hit the like button and of course strap in as well. Other than that, I am planning to make a video Monday, Tuesday, and also on the Friday. So make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. Guys, thank you so much. Remember to hit the like button. Yes, there we go. Javello, good night as well. Let's talk soon again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.